Ant-Man and the Wasp is the next MCU film to hit theaters this July. It's definitely got one hell of a tough act to follow. After the events of Infinity War, everyone has lost their minds about the fate of many beloved characters in the MCU, and what Thanos' reign of terror will mean for the upcoming films. We do know that we'll be spending some quality time with Scott Lang yet again, despite the character's absence due to the house arrest in the third Avengers movie. So with the release of the second trailer, we here at Top 10 Nerd have put together some initial thoughts and theories about what plot points the trailer may pertain to, and what we're hoping we'll see in Ant-Man and the Wasp. The trailer starts off with Ant-Man chatting with his daughter Cassie on the floor, discussing his history as the superhero. We can only assume that this is during the character's house arrest that was mentioned in Infinity War. We get a great sequence of Ant-Man facing off against some bad guys, and stumbling quite a bit. This is when Wasp makes an appearance, the other title character featured in the film. It was hinted heavily that Evangeline Lilly's character was to become Wasp in the first Ant-Man film, so no surprise seeing her here. Although epic walk-in shot. The trailer then reveals the presumably main antagonist of the movie, Ghost, who in the comics is actually an Iron Man villain. This Ghost is actually a woman though, rather than the version that we've seen in the comics. The character will be played by Hannah John Kamen. Now we have a bit of a theory brewing here at Top 10 Nerd. So, Ant-Man has a criminal past and knows his way around a bank heist. According to Marvel, and also the trailer, the film has a bit of a rom-com feel to it, which is probably a nice relief considering the depressing way that Infinity War ended. All that considered, could the Ghost be an ex of Ant-Man's? In true rom-com fashion? Yeah, he'll probably be trying to get with Wasp, but hey, what's better than a rom-com love triangle, right? We're also speculating that this film's timeline is concurrent with the one in Infinity War, meaning it may end with its own depressing revelation, with one of these characters turning to dust. The trailer doesn't hint at any sign that Infinity War has occurred, but to be fair, Marvel has been known to hide certain details that don't end up making it into the trailers. So, who knows? Now at the very end of the trailer, there's mention of something that's pretty important. Project Goliath. This is likely a reference to a different Ant-Man, Hank Pym, who took on the alias of Goliath once upon a time. Hank Pym's got a long and complicated history, friends. Here's hoping that Scott doesn't have nearly as many tragic troubles. Now in Civil War, we did get to see Ant-Man pull a giant move in the airport battle, and he also gets pretty big at the end of this trailer. So an increase in size is definitely a trick in his real house in the MCU at this point. But in the comics, there's also another character by the name of Bill Foster who operated under the Goliath mantle, who used his own version of the Pym particle formula to achieve his giant size. The character actually died during Civil War. So how does that tie in with this film? Well, the person who mentions Project Goliath in this trailer is Lawrence Fishburne. Perhaps this hints to the fact that the MCU is taking liberty with Foster's character. Rather than sticking to the story of the character dying during Civil War, which obviously can't happen at this point, perhaps he's now retired, and this is Bill Foster at an older age. Alright, so there we have it. What do you guys all think about this trailer? Do you think this movie's events will tie into the Infinity War film? Let us know all of your thoughts and feels in those comments below. Now if you dug this video, please show us some love by hitting that like button, and hit subscribe if you'd like to hang out with us some more. We'd love it if you stuck around. We've also got many more Marvel videos concerning the MCU and the comics on our channel, so definitely give that playlist that's currently flashing on your screen a click to dive further down the rabbit hole. In the meantime, thanks for watching everybody. I'll catch you all in the next video.